gonna have to yell because the microphones don't work, but that was a very fascinating film. So.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, well, and you wrote that script over many, many years, right?
Yes, it took a long time to get here. For some reason, people didn't think it was, terribly commercial. I don't know why. But it was a bit of a hard sell. When I was trying to get the film made in Hollywood, no one really wanted it, and so it actually ended up being France-Canada co-production, and it was made independently. And then, sort of after the fact, Warner Brothers picked it up.
Now you hear this at Sundance, right? And that's how you got Joel Silver involved. And so, like, how does that work, like, producers-wise? Because you made the film and then they latch on. Is that how that works?
Yeah, I mean, really, it's the dream scenario, and right. I don't want to bore you with an incredibly convoluted story, but truly, like, when we finished this film, which was about a year ago, we happened to finish it at the worst time ever in the history of cinema to sell the movie, an independent film, truly. And in fact, two companies that had tried to pick up the movie went out of business. And really, by the time December was rolling around, I thought, sci-fi movie premiere, that's where we're headed. But very fortunately, we were accepted to Sundance. And then by some incredible fluke, Joel Silver saw a photograph from the film online and thought the movie looked interesting, and sent one of his executives to see the film, and he liked it, and then Joel saw it, he liked it, and they picked it up. But never in his career has he ever actually acquired a film before. I don't know if you know who Joel Silver is, but he did the Matrix movies and the Die Hard films. He's very
Lethal Weapon,
well-known mainstream Hollywood producer. But to Joel's credit, he's a ballsy guy, and he said, I like this, it's commercial, I'm picking it up. And I'm telling you, there's no other way this could have ever happened. I mean, it's nothing short of a miracle that I'm in front of you right now. I mean, it just doesn't happen anymore, so we're incredibly lucky.
Well, congratulations on the movie. It was fascinating. Go ahead, Jeff.
Did Warner Brothers, did they make you change anything at all?
No, we did some work to the film after Sundance, but it really is cosmetic work. We cut about 2 minutes and 11 seconds out of the main part of the film and tightened the credits up a little bit. And I added one shot to clarify a story point. When just before Mail Dren appears, I added a shot of Dren's grave with the earth moving a little bit, because there was some confusion in, as to what was going on at that point. But basically, they embraced. I was terrified because when the studio bought the film, I didn't really have a lot of creative control at that point. I mean, had they chosen to, they could have changed the movie drastically. That does happen occasionally. But for whatever reason, they embraced everything that's crazy and weird and dark about the film.
Can you talk about how Mouse influenced the film? That great study. Yeah, the whole idea came about.
That was me, sorry.
Oh, great. Well, the microphone's coming. Yes, the film was inspired by a mouse.
A mouse?
Yes. You wouldn't expect that.
Hello? Oh, great. Yes, Splice was inspired by a mouse. It was a very special mouse because it appeared to have a human ear growing out of its back. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but it was
Yeah.
It's called the Bacchante mouse. And it wasn't even a genetic experiment, actually, but it looked like one. And it was such a...
Go about it.
Which mic?
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Yelling. It was such a bizarre, shocking image that I felt somewhere in this mouse was a movie. And that was 15 years ago. It took a very long time to, write the script. Eventually, I almost made the film 10 years ago, and then that production collapsed. And then, fortunately, I guess maybe 5 years ago, I met Guillermo del Toro, who's our executive producer, who, as you probably know, is a wonderful filmmaker, and he expressed an interest in producing a movie for me, which I was thrilled by, of course, and I thought of Splice. And because Guillermo's work, is very often very sympathetic to the monster and to the creature, and so he responded to it, and I think his name sort of gives a little bit of credibility, and it was just a snowball started to roll, and we got a few more people involved, and then very luckily we got a French company, actually the world's oldest film studio, produced this film on. And being French, they had no problem with this stuff. That went down smoothly with them, and so we got to make the movie.
This is kind of a two-part. Why is my word here?
I was actually reading the actress who played like a real actress, and the other 30% is the CGI, obviously the legs and the tail. I can't even fathom, like, how did it look like when you were shooting it? Was her legs green screen? How did you shoot that?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Dren is really is this working out? Dren is really a hybrid.
Just give up. Yeah, be over.
Yeah, I don't think mine works either.
It's not working either.
Anyway, Dren is a hybrid creature. She's also a hybrid of different visual and prosthetic effects techniques. In her adult form, we had a wonderful French actress named Delphine Chignac play her. And essentially, we did some reconfiguration of her face digitally. We spread her eyes apart. Her legs, when we were shooting, were in blue stockings. She had 3-inch high heels on. But she was French, so that wasn't a problem either. And so we replaced the legs, we added a tail, and we erased her little fingers on both hands.
Turn the mic off.
Basically
Turn the mic off. Turn the mic off. That's the mic.
It's like Ginger and Fred.
Yeah, just take them away.
By the way, this remake could not be worse. This is actually cool. This is cool. Let's all just take our clothes off.
You first.
So, where was I? Yes, so basically our philosophy in designing Dren was less is more. The notion being that small changes to the human form are probably going to be more shocking than big ones. And so we really didn't do a lot with Delphine. I mean, and she has such a wonderful presence. She has this kind of androgynous beauty and this sort of alien quality. I mean, really, if Dren works for you as a character, it really is because of Delphine.
She was awesome. So she's wearing blue stockings, and digitally take that out and then put the I guess,
right,
creature legs in. Now, I was reading somewhere that you actually, when you were casting the character of Dren, you just drove past this girl on the street.
Oh, no, that's slightly, actually, no, she was
Okay.
going for the audition. But
Okay.
my producer and I were in Paris for the audition, and we were walking up to the building, and we saw this girl on the street, and he said, oh, that looks like a Dren. And that turned out to be Delphine, who was the first person to audition for us. So we saw an additional 200 girls, but we eventually came back to her. And I can't imagine the film without her.
You knew it was her from the moment you saw her.
It was love at first sight.
So the other 200 girls had no chance whatsoever.
No.